Happy Tuesday, Jar of Pain babies. How are you? How was your weekend? Are you enjoying the sunshine? I hope you are. You're going to be hearing that a lot from me lately. Life just changes when the sun comes out. I love it. It's a beautiful spring day in Wisconsin. It is a Saturday that I'm making this. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys listening to the show. You can ask your questions at jarofpain.com. This is a great episode. I think there's a lot of good goofs. Heavy on the boys. Tell a friend about the show. Share the show with a friend. Let's grow the show. I love you. You're safe. You're beautiful. You're loved. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Jonathan, what time is it? Jonathan, what time is it? Jonathan, what time is it? Jonathan, what time is it?
Come on, dude.
I'm sorry.
Dude, we had such a good start.
The momentum was
Ben was sitting.
swinging.
Ben's fat toes were sitting on my microphone cable. Welcome back.
You know what they say about fat toes?
Can concur.
How you doing?
I feel like I lost it.
Yeah, the momentum was
Yeah.
all in that one foot.
Welcome back to the Jar of Pain podcast. My name is Matt. This is,
Jar pain.
well, and your name's Ben. You got to get better at self-promotion.
And my name's Ben.
Yeah, and we do a podcast. This is the podcast. If you're here, you've probably been here before. This is the podcast where we answer life's toughest questions from silly to serious. And it's Jar of Pain. You can ask a question yourself at jarofpain.com. It's free and easy to do.
Let us entertain you and answer what's on your mind.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. Yep. Just put it in a little box.
It's just a little, yeah, you put it in your computer box, and then it gets into our glass jar.
In our glass jar.
That's right.
And that's a bar.
Our jar.
The R jar.
Art Pimp My Jar. Remember that show? Pimp My Ride?
Take my ride.
He's like, I know you can't afford health insurance, so I put a scalpel in your glove compartment so you could do surgery on the go.
It's such a wild show. They're like, let's take a theme of someone's life and then put it in their automobile.
This guy has a fish tank, so we put fish tanks in his car. Now he can't see out his windows.
Can't see out his-
Isn't that... And there's subs in there. I'm sure the fish love that.
Also, probably like 2 years down the line, one of those is going to crack. It's going to leak all over.
We know you have a hole in your floor, but we decided to put a PS2 in the back seat. Extreme Home Makeover was weird, too.
Yeah.
You know,
Also,
a lot of those people lost their homes.
yeah, because it cost a lot.
Yeah, their energy bills went way up. Their property taxes went way up. They picked, the qualifier was like, you can't be doing well,
Yeah.
and your house is falling apart. And then they made them a mansion, and they can't afford a
They
mansion.
can't afford that.
They can't afford a mansion.
Which I'm going to say it's dumb that property tax is based on the visual appearance.
I don't think it's visual appearance. I think it's the square footage of your home.
I think it's also visual as well.
Really?
That's why you see a lot of shit houses, but then you go inside and they're fucking amazing.
Hmm.
Because if they renovate the outside, that makes it look better, and that makes the neighborhood look better.
These are things I didn't know.
This is why we're apartment boys.
This is why I'm an apartment boy.
You know,
Right now, you're a basement boy.
I am a basement boy. I want to be an apartment boy. I want to
Yeah.
be an apartment man.
Yeah, you do. You got gray hairs. You gotta get an apartment.
I gotta be an apartment man.
Gray hairs hit different when you're in an apartment.
They really do.
Well, after we've razzed a couple reality TV shows about bettering people's lives,
But then they also
ruined them.
ruined them. So,
Yeah.
right there. We'll rip this up. We'll start this going. Here's a good question. Is nuance dying?
Define nuance. Very nuanced bit.
That's a good joke.
Thank you.
I would say yes. I would say there are some defenders of nuance and believers in it.
Who's a defender of nuance to you?
Someone who, like, when they hear something, they don't go with the reflex of like, oh, I'm gonna be on this. Like, they ask questions, they instigate a little more, they read up about it, and then they come to a conclusion.
Can we define nuance real quick?
Nuance is like something's complex. There's a lot to it,
Got it.
you know?
So there's a TikTok account that I have. Sorry if you hear the sirens. It's a beautiful spring day. I refuse to close the window. It's absolutely beautiful in the Midwest. The Shire's coming to life. This Hobbit's going to watch and feel.
Absolutely.
There's a TikTok I follow. I think maybe it's an Instagram, but they're making a reboot of the Anne Frank. They're making an Anne Frank musical, but the whole cast is Latinx. And so it's like, I thought it was real at first, and then I just realized, oh, this is just really well done satire,
Okay.
and it's very nuanced. Where like you can't really be mad at it because it's so well. Your initial reaction is is what
That's
to make the Anne Frank story as diverse as we can. We have a whole cast of Latinx actors and players, and so like at first you're like, this is so stupid, but he has dozens of videos like actually writing the songs, and it'd be like Mamacita in the attic, and like like it's just so off course but done so genuinely.
Yeah.
That's a nuanced bit, wouldn't you say?
I would say that's a nuanced bit.
That guy
That
is incredible. You gotta find it. I will look it up, and I will put his right here because it's really, really fun.
just for the purposes of us not looking like assholes, I just want to make sure we're using nuance correctly.
Okay, that's a good idea. Did you get a new phone?
No, I took mine out of the case like you.
I always wanted to be like you, Dad. Ugh. I was doing it because you do it.
Okay. We're wrong.
Oh no.
Nuance is a subtle difference in or shade of meaning, expression, or sound.
Can they give an example?
The nuances of facial expression and body language. Or a verb, which the verb meaning doesn't help us anymore. It just says give nuances to. And the sentence is, the effect of the music is nuanced by the social situation of listeners.
I don't think I get it.
There's like, I think nuance is like subtle differences. So it's
similar to ambiance.
no, ambiance is atmosphere. Nuance is would be the differences between atmosphere. Like two atmospheres were
So
two ambiances were really
listening
close.
to a record
Yeah.
in an alleyway or in your apartment, is that nuance or ambiance? The nuance is the difference between the two?
The ambiance would be ambiance.
Okay.
Nuance would be like, this is such a weird thing to come up with examples for. Nuance would be like how you feel about listening to music in this apartment versus another apartment. Does that make sense?
Kind of. I think nuance is dying because no one knows what it is.
Nuance is dead.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Right up there with chivalry. If you could only choose one, what is your signature accessory?
Well, oddly enough, colorful socks. You probably don't know that about me. You're probably not looking at my feet a lot. Thank you. But I do wear a lot of colorful socks.
I mean, I'm always trying to get a look at those little
tootsies.
little piggies. Those dogs.
Or a hat. I tend to wear a hat most of the time. Today I'm not. I don't know why. It didn't feel like a hat day. Sun's out.
I got someone, a bisexual man, told me I was surprisingly handsome when I wasn't wearing a beanie, so I decided to forego the beanie. And I think just a denim jacket.
I think jacket is you.
Yeah.
You're a jacket guy.
I'm a jacket boy.
You have an overshirt or a jacket most of the time.
Correction. Jacket man. Make that song, Elton John.
Jacket man.
Jacket man.
Man. Yeah, I think we nailed it. For me, it's either hat or my socks. I used to never match my socks. Sometimes I still won't, as an ode to myself.
I'm not going to lie. Matching your socks is another level. That's a very nuanced expression.
Yeah, well, because here's the thing. We have limited time on this earth. If you add up all the time you spend, like, when you fold your laundry into, like, what socks match each other, unless you're only buying the same sock, which that's 7th grade boy thinking. Different colors, different outfits, things like that. You want a couple. You want options.
I'm not going to.
You want an athletic sock. You want a dress sock.
I just get socks, black or white.
Okay, well,
Born boy.
that's fine.
It's a very boy heavy episode.
Very boy heavy episode.
Heavy on the boys title.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. I forget where I was going.
You're talking about matching socks and how we have limited time.
Oh, we have
on this
limited
earth.
time on this earth. If you had up all the time you spend matching stocks, you could have another week with your loved ones. Just throw them in the drawer. Throw them in the drawer.
We need a little more scientific studies to confirm that.
It would take you 5 minutes to separate, sort, and fold the socks.
But wouldn't it benefit you to have all same colored socks so you could spend more time with loved ones?
Maybe, but I like having colorful socks.
All right,
And they're cheaper because no one buys them.
that's fair.
So you can get nice quality socks on discount at Muldoon's on Hastings Way. They're like $5-6 a piece, and they're good socks because the wacky ones don't sell. No one's looking at my feet. You talk to the kid who his parents couldn't afford a bigger bike, so he rode his sister's pink bike around town. I don't care what it looks like. I want the functionality.
That's fair.
And then it just becomes a thing you do.
So when you want like a cushiony sock, like a really good breathable.
I have wool socks for winter. I have like heavier socks. These are very light socks. Great for sandals. I wear socks and sandals. I don't care.
Okay.
I like the way it looks.
All right, you rip it, man.
People make fun. It's like Coldplay. It's just an easy thing to make fun of.
That's a good point. But if anyone wants to bag or ask Matt questions about his colorful socks, jarpain.com. It's free.
That's right.
What is your greatest personal cosmic horror? 2 cosmic horror questions.
This is probably the same person.
I feel like it, but you know
so
what?
Thank you.
Fun. Greatest personal cosmic horror?
So is that like my fear?
Greatest, yeah, as personal cosmic fear.
Oh boy. I feel like I've answered. I feel like I've talked about this a lot, but like I'm not worried about dying. I'm a little scared of how it will happen and maybe when. But it'll feel just like it did before I was born, and I don't remember that either. So I'm not scared of that. I get sleep demons. You get those?
Are you talking sleep paralysis?
Yeah, sleep paralysis demons. You get those?
I don't. I've heard.
Yeah, I got one.
Please tell.
It's followed me around like my whole life.
I've heard that too.
It's just like that's my fear incarnate. And it's the size of like maybe like a 7-year-old boy.
Does it sit on your chest when you wake up?
No, it sits like in the room, barely out of sight, but I can feel it. But one time I saw it, and it was trying to hand me a pentagram. But it's like a little boy, but it doesn't like have. It's not like it's naked, but it has a body, but it's like all really blurry. But you could see the face, and it's like the skin is like the blackest black you can imagine, but it is skin textured. Like it's not like a hole. It's like it has skin, but it's like the darkest black.
Are you talking like African American black or like demonic black?
Demonic black.
Okay.
But it has skin.
But it's
And it's demonic black. So imagine the blackest like
fleshy.
African shade, but darker.
Oh.
And yeah, I was sleeping on the floor once in New Jersey, and it was perched on the end of the bed upwards of me, and it was leaning over trying to hand me a pentagram, and like I couldn't move, and I was like, please go to sleep, please go to sleep, please go back to sleep, please go back to sleep. And then I woke up to a leaf blower outside.
Interesting. You should keep some cocoa butter next to your bed to become a spy.
I've actually been using this body butter with lavender, and
I've been using lotion too.
it's nice. Hey,
Oh,
we're growing up.
Oh my god. I believe
Yeah.
they call that metrosexual.
Maybe, but yeah, that's me, the sleep paralysis demon boy.
Yeah, I don't have those. I feel like my greatest cosmic horror that drives me insane is dying without having reached my potential. That's probably my greatest fear.
Oh, Ben, you've got a long way to go.
Yeah.
You're already good enough. You just don't even know it.
No, I can be better.
It's not about squeezing it out of you. It's about opening it up.
About being better.
Oh, so tense. So tense.
And I will be better. What is the best TV show of all time?
Okay, well, that's completely a subjective question
It's very subjective.
because like we talking storyline narrative, we talking cinematography, we talking all of it. I'll be honest, I think it's hard to beat Breaking Bad. I hope you've seen it. It'll make this conversation a lot easier.
I've seen it. I haven't seen it all.
Wow, you didn't even finish.
Okay, here's what happened. There was the scene where it was after they first make
Spoiler alert.
I think it's been some time.
Dumbledore dies.
Fucking he takes a rip of meth. No, it's after they make their first batch of meth and then Jesse tries it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like fucking floating. The way the camera to make it look like he's like just fucking soaring, make it look so good. And then I just like my brain connected that to my dad. And then that kind of like fucked me up for a second.
That's tough.
Yeah, and I think my brain,
it kind of glorifies the drug use.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And at the moment I was like, I don't know why, but I don't want to watch this. And then years later, I'm like, I need to watch this because I heard it's good and I like art, and that was a bitch move to do. Like, get over it.
Also, like, it emotionally struck you in like the deepest way possible, and that's what good stuff does.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's called art.
Yeah, art is made to comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable.
That's a quote.
Yeah,
that is a damn good quote.
Someone told me that once in the back of a van.
Were you high?
No, we were on the road.
Nice.
We were touring.
Oh yeah, that's tour talk for sure.
Tour talk, like, dude, what we're doing is really important. just trying to justify it to ourselves why we're tired, hungry, and alone.
Yo, man, we're here. We were put on this earth to comfort.
Comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. Let's fucking kiss. Let's fucking make out.
Let's fucking kiss and jerk each other off at the same time. I would say SpongeBob SquarePants seasons 1 through 4.
Come on, Ben.
No.
Come on, dude.
The quotes, the fun,
the
longevity, the
3 hours later.
3 hours later.
Well, if we're going for that, I think we have to go Seinfeld. There's so many things in our culture that come from Seinfeld that we've forgotten came from Seinfeld.
Here's the thing,
the best comedies on TV, and comedians do this too, is where they recognize and name something we all do that we didn't realize we were all doing.
Fair. However, if we're going to go that route, then I would say Friends. I was a friend's house in all full disclosure, friend's house. But here's what I found out, and I didn't realize that. Matthew Perry, rest in peace, changed the way people responded in sarcasm. Like, the entire country changed.
Yeah.
Solely because of that man.
Yeah, that's a really strong point. I do think you get points off for the nostalgia of it because you grew up in a friend's house.
That's fair.
I did not grow up in a friend's house. I didn't even grow up in the Seinfeld house. That's actually why I think, I hate to say it, I think I have good taste.
Okay.
Because I had to find my taste. I was not given taste. I was only allowed to listen to Christian music for most of my childhood. Yeah. And I was a little praise boy in the van going on up. Like, the whole family was singing it. Like, burn the devil's kingdom down. Whoa, burn up down. Like that. Ron Canoli, his albums rip still. He would play with like 100-person band and choir in these arenas.
Yeah.
Like, he'd have a fucking 60-person full choir, full band. All the musicians on his records are like world-class musicians who just believe in the message of Christ, and so they donated their time to play with Ron Canoli. And then, like, they'd break down the music and he'd start preaching, and he's like, and then they'd be like, and then the choir would be like, yeah. It's so good. He wears the best sweaters. Ron Canoli, the bass lines, everything. It's so like 80s, mid 80s, early 90s, like R&B groove funk jazz stuff, but it's pop. It rips.
How much pussy do you think that guy got?
I think he was very happily married.
How much pussy do you think that guy got?
I don't know, man. It's a tough one because I like to think of Ron Canoli as better than all of us.
Here's the thing. That's fair. There are rock star preachers doing less, but getting more.
Oh yeah, I can agree with that.
So the idea that that man was just shredded.
They actually, like in Christianity, it's like a thing where my dad told me this once. I don't know if it's true. I've come to find out a lot of things my dad told me just aren't true. There's a concept where like the devil goes for the most influential people. So if you're like a rock star preacher or a pastor and you have influence and power over people, he comes to get you harder than other people.
I heard this quote the other day, speaking of good quotes. God talks to you individually. The devil talks to you through crowds.
That's a really fucking stellar quote. That's a really stellar quote. I don't know if I believe it, but it's a really stellar quote.
Yeah, there's I don't know, it is something that makes you think for sure.
It makes you think. It's more like, to me, it's deeper than religion. That quote is deeper than religion. It could be about anything.
Yeah.
Anything you believe. The thing that everybody else is believing, question it. I question everything.
Yeah.
I have a disease called why, and I've said that many times.
I've never heard you say that before.
Really? I feel like I've said that on every podcast I've ever been on at least once.
But, well, I mean, now there's one.
That is the sickness of why I have, the disease of why. One of my last podcasts I made during the pandemic called Fresco Savage Live from the Interdimensional Bedroom. One of our first episodes was called The Disease of Why, because it is a disease that I have where I have to go, why? To everything.
Well, you know what? I hope that disease never gets cured.
Yeah, I know.
I hope you always have that disease.
I know. It just makes life harder.
It does. It makes it less enjoyable.
Yes. Because I see.
And then you add.
I see happy people never asking questions. And I'm like, God, what would it be like to be them?
Well, really what you're doing is saying, why? Why are you happy?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
In the search for joy and happiness. And I don't think happiness exists. We've talked about this before as well. Happiness is a myth. Happiness was created by capitalism to sell you happiness. Happiness does not exist. It's a constant mix of everything up and down all around. It's all gray area, baby. No such thing as happiness. There's joy. There's fear. There's jealousy. There's all these emotions, but happiness is not an emotion. It is a product. Yeah, that's pretty. That's
clip.
That's a banger clip.
Is this last one?
Happy, sad. Happy, sad, jealous, sad. I'm scared of tornadoes. I'm scared of tornadoes. Sun make me happy. Tree make me happy. Green grass make me happy. Now I'm sad again. That was the worst one.
That was fun.
It's bad.
I liked it.
It's kind of turned into slam poetry at the end.
What's bigger? The New York Yankees or the universe?
Who the hell asked this question? First of all, not a baseball fan.
This is a New Yorker.
You think? Or is it someone trying to fuck with us?
I mean, this is either a New Yorker or...
Is there like an old quote that's like, the Yankees are bigger than the universe itself, or some like 1960s like, and that the Yankees seal their 5th World Series, proving once again that New York Yankees are bigger than the universe itself. That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Also, fun fact, do you know the reason why they call it the World Series?
No.
It's not because it's the world. Obviously, it's within the United States. It's because the first game that they ever did was sponsored by a newspaper. No longer, it's defunct. I think it was called the World Post Series.
So it's called the World Post
Series, yeah.
But like the paper was probably called like the World Post.
Yeah, the paper was called.
And so that first one was the World Post Series, and then the Post goes away, and they're like, "Well, we got a great name,
banger name,
World Series.
Can't get any better than that. Can't get any bigger than the World Series."
But like, the sun is 9 million miles away.
That's bigger than the New York Yankees. And that's just a small part of the universe.
I mean, like,
It's science. It's simple.
it's science. Like, this is why I think it was a New Yorker. Because only a New Yorker would have the fucking audacity,
Yeah, the goal.
the goal to be like, nothing's bigger than the Yankees. Nothing beats them.
I wish I felt that way about something. Like, I just wish I had.
That's
There's nothing in my life that I'm like, this is the biggest thing in the universe.
if that person believes in God, they believe in Alex Rodriguez above God.
Yeah, yeah.
It's A-Rod, God, fucking boom.
Yeah, my thing is the universe. If anything, that's my thing. That's the thing I think about.
That's, yeah.
But this guy's just like, imagine what it feels like for this person to go to a Yankees game. They are in.
That's church.
That is church. And you are seeing your God before you.
You're seeing.
It's more than church. It is heaven.
But then, okay, so let's take it down this road. Imagine you see your fucking God, your religion, get beaten by another religion. Yo, we should start a religious sports team where only people of that religion are on that sports team, and we do that for all the major religions.
Yeah.
And then we have them go fucking duke it out.
The Crusade series.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then
Before the next pitch, the Mohammeds will be praying on the mound. It is their time.
oh, okay, third inning, and they're praying.
They're praying again.
They're praying again.
The fans have taken to praying.
They're all praying. Winner gets Jerusalem.
That's not a bad idea. It would really solve an age-old issue.
Dunzo.
Yeah.
And they would all agree on it, and nobody would get mad.
This actually does sound like a Donald Trump thing, where he's like, I've got an idea. We'll play a game. We'll play a game. Winner takes Gaza.
Winner takes Gaza.
Oh. That's the end of the episode.
Jonathan, what time is it? Jonathan, what time is it? Jonathan, what time is it? Jonathan, what time is it?